Do you want to captivate an audience or group every time you speak? Let's break into the secrets of using your energy and voice to be a superstar speaker. First, I want to ask you, how can your nervous energy, those butterflies in your stomach, become your best ally on stage? I'll tell you in just a sec. I won't even make you wait till the end of the video to find out. My name is Mickey. From the sales room to the classroom, from live audiences to teleconferences, I've been turning butterflies into bravado in front of groups large and small for over 20 years. I want to help you turn your speech from an information delivery mechanism into an experience that inspires and persuades and educates and, dare I say, entertains. I'm going to share how your energy and your voice can invigorate your persona and your charisma and command attention and make your message memorable. We're going to rev it up and modulate. Have you done a presentation or maybe given a talk at a conference and you find yourself starting to rush, trying to finish before too many people fall asleep? A lot of us have or have had the same hurdles. Nerves that flatten us, or we get so focused on getting every word of our talk right that we fall into a monotonous monotone of rote remembrance. Either of these alone can be superstar kryptonite, but usually they travel in packs, hitting you from all sides. Let's plug into energy first, and as long as I'm in the plug-in metaphor, think of a live audience as a live wire plugged directly into the wall. If it's not properly channeled, you'll end up fried and die on stage. Not literally, I hope. For most of us, the time right before going on stage or in front of a sizable group is a time of stress. The body responds by dumping a surge of norepinephrine into our system, priming us to naturally boost adrenaline and excitement. We often feel afraid because that sensation is part of the body's fight or flight response. The important part is not to actually be afraid of the feeling, because when you channel that, it becomes your own personal superstar serum. Those are the butterflies. They're not just nerves. They are our performance allies. Potential energy waiting to be unleashed. They feel like fear, but they are instead adrenalizing us to go over and above our normal mortal selves. They can help us seem larger than life. At the other end of the speaking spectrum are online meetings and videos. These are battery powered, and you need to charge those up before you fly. There's a bunch of ways that you can potentially do this, but two of my favorite are, number one, exercise. Do jumping jacks, high knees, push-ups, burpees, anything, attire permitting, depending on what kind of speech you're giving, that gets the blood flowing. This gets your heart rate up, expands your lungs, and gets your body's natural movement into the game. The other one is psyching yourself up. Before I start shooting a video, I tell jokes to no one. I talk to the camera. I go crazy before I start shooting. Rev up! Boogity, 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 boogity. I can do it. I can do it. It's all right. I am on. I use that to supercharge me before I start talking. They say the camera adds 10 pounds. What they don't tell you is it also subtracts half your energy. If you feel like you're going over the top, then you're probably just about where you should be. But now that I have all this energy, what can I do with it? Speaking of energy, try invigorating that like button. On to the power of your voice. There are 3 techniques that everyone can use that will make what you say more memorable. The first is volume. Volume comes in 2 packages. Having enough of it and changing it up. Getting enough of it is called projection, not yelling. I'll go into that in another video. Varying volume to engage and emphasize is dominating with decibels. Most of the time, you are speaking at your regular volume, which is not coincidentally part of how we define regular volume. But you can speak more quietly to make people lean in, figuratively or literally. Or explode with volume to drive home something important. Next up is pitch. Rising and falling pitch convey emotion. A high pitch communicates excitement and urgency, while low pitches lend seriousness and gravitas to your words. When you're speaking effectively, you frequently are altering your pitch to impart those emotional beats, but also to keep your speech from sounding monotonous. You want always to be dynamic and engaging, not the other thing. Last-ish is pace, also known as tempo. The speed at which we speak is usually more consistent than the other speaking techniques, though it's still something that we don't leave too static. Our baseline speaking tempo is one that moves fast enough to maintain momentum while remaining slow enough to be well understood. Speeding up slightly can give a sense of enthusiasm and energy, while slowing down stresses important points. In the realm of tempo, there are also pauses. You can either use them as I just did there to create anticipation or annoyance, or you can stop speaking for a moment after an important or emotional point to allow your audience time to digest it and reflect on it. Pauses are space, and space between what is said can have as much power as the highest volume of your speech, sometimes even more. Together, these are how we modulate our speech, how we give it variety and depth. They are the building blocks, the tone of our speech, both overall and at each point within the whole. Overusing any of these is as bad or worse than using none of them at all. An entire speech delivered as slowly at high volume is just as boring and hard to follow as one said quietly and in a monotone. When we combine these techniques, though, we have ultimate power. Let me give you some examples. First, we'll say something loud, high, and fast. The tortoise beat the hare. That's energetic. It conveys amazement, maybe surprise. It's sensational. Next up, let's try something quiet, low, and slow. The tortoise beat the hare. This is something exclusive or important, something that you want to drive. Now let's try it loud, low, and slow. The tortoise beat the hare. This is maybe a critical point or a climax of a story, which in this case it kind of is. Now let's try high, quiet, and slow. The tortoise beat the hare. That might be humorous or the moral of the story. One final point about voice. Don't worry if your nerves, your superpower, make your voice quaver slightly. Most people won't even notice, and since there's not a whole lot you can do about it anyway, allow it to provide color and uniqueness to your delivery. You could pretend you're an opera singer, deigning to favor the audience with your august presence. These techniques are impactful because they tap into basic human communication expectations. People love stories and storytelling, and good stories build and decline, climax and resolve. People remember stories, and injecting and investing your energy and wrapping your voice around your message and your listeners can help them enjoy and keep what you say to them. These are a big part of how you turn a speech from an information delivery mechanism into an experience that inspires, persuades, educates, and entertains. Drop a comment below and share your experience or your fears about any of these. If there's something specific you hope I'll go into some other time, let me know. While you're down there, if you'd like to learn how to be a voice of authority when you're speaking to groups, sign up at the link in the description. There's a whole lot more to say about speaking, so listen up, superstar.